let's see, what are we doing? All right, welcome back to the stream. In this session, we're going to be completing the time management course that I'm taking on Udemy. So we're on section 6, and there's only 7 sections. And it looks like section 6 isn't going to take much time. And section 7, which is the summary, looks a bit short too. So I'm going to probably be able to complete it probably within 30 minutes, it seems. So that said, let's get started.
Your days may get really busy. We need to build a planning habit that gives you the feeling of control and calm. It will not be dreaming about the ideal reality. It will be making few key decisions and then reacting to whatever happens. We want clear priorities. The common problem of many people when it comes to daily planning is that they start with complex procedures that simply take too long and consume too much energy. We want to build a habit, and so we need to start small and then build on top of that. From the very first moment, we need to feel that the time we spend on planning gives us value. So even during the busiest days, we still do it. Based on my experience, I would strongly encourage a daily planning procedure that takes you 5 minutes at most. After some time...
Okay, daily planning is ideally should ideally take around 5 minutes.
Time it will be automatic and it will take you less and less time, and then we may add something new to it. Let us go through a procedure that I found works for many people. You may start with just 2 or 3 points first and then add new when you feel comfortable. 1. Open your calendar and look at the meetings and events that will happen during the day. Ask yourself a few questions. How much time do you have between them? When do you plan your breaks to decompress, get some rest, or build relationships? What energy level do you think you will have after each of them?
Okay, let me get this down. Step 1. View calendar items, which would be meeting and events. And for each of these, determine how do I not do that? How do I make it wrap? Determine the following things. How much time do you have between them? When do you plan your breaks? This is for decompressing. For the reason of decompressing, getting some rest, or building relationships. And lastly, what energy level will the items above leave you with? Will it be greater or lower? And if lower, would it influence the outcome of your next meeting event? All right.
2. Choose 3 most important tasks, also called MITs. What are the 3 most important things that you would like to achieve that day? What 3 things would need to happen so when you go to bed in the evening, you would still say that this was a good day? Most people are tempted to have multiple tasks for the day. This was a good day.
Okay. All right. Choose 3 most important tasks. So these are not meetings or events. These are items from your task list, I assume. From task list specifically. And not anything from calendar events. So what are the 3 most important things that you would like to achieve that day? The 3 most important things you would like to achieve for that day. And 2 is the 3 things would need to happen so that you go to bed in the evening. You would still say that was a good day. So I guess that means, like, what 3 items do you need to achieve in order for you to call it a day early? In other words, what 3 items are needed to be accomplished so that you could tune out for the rest of the day.
Most people are tempted to have multiple tasks for the day and multiple goals, but choose at most 3 priorities for the day. This is a limitation of our brain. It counts.
So why 3? Why just 3? Because it's a limitation. Well, I should say it's a general limitation of our capacity, our mental capacity as humans.
1, 2, 3 lots. And that was beautifully described in...
Ooh, actually, good point.
Your Brain at Work book and Put to Action in Essentialism by Greg
He has not mentioned this book before, so let me just note that here.
McKeown. 3 most important tasks will give you focus, and this will help you feel great satisfaction at the end of your day. Even if you completed 7 out of 10 tasks, you can say that every day you complete your 3 MITs and focus on your priorities first. I would practice just these 2 points for at least a week, and then move forward with adding another one. 3. Open your task list and move the tasks that you plan to complete that day from this week list into today. Look at your today list when it's completed and ask yourself a few questions. Looking at my calendar.
All right, so step 3. Review your task list. Oops. And move the task that you plan to complete from that date, that day, or is meant from this week. listen to today. Oops. Okay.
And energy level, is it realistic that I will achieve all of that? What will happen if I don't do these tasks? What are the real consequences? And which of the tasks have the biggest value?
Okay. With respect to your calendar and energy level, is it realistic that items now in the today list, is it realistic that items now, or items that, are your eyes dry? I think they kind of are. Is it realistic that items that are now in today's list are achievable? I'm gonna take that advice from that prompt that we just saw and take a break. All right, I think I should be good now.
4. Look at your task list and try to batch similar activities together and plan them according to your energy level. This will help you avoid distractions and save you energy because your level. This
Step 4 is to view task lists and batch similar activities together. Similar activities together and plan them according to your energy levels.
This will help you avoid distractions and save you energy because you don't switch the context so much. Some questions that may help you. What activities are similar and could be naturally completed within one block without distractions? Which tasks require the most energy and which the least? What would be the ideal time to do them so they match your energy level? What is my main source of distractions for today?
All right, cool. What activities are similar? And complement each other. Actually, and could be naturally, and could possibly be a natural progression within one block without distractions. Which tasks require the most energy, the least energy, and what would be the ideal time to do them so they match your energy levels? Figure out what the ideal time is to start them so that they match your, or no, match is such a great word, they complement your energy expectations, so that it doesn't greatly affect the following calendar events meetings. We still have the 10. And lastly, what is the main source of distraction for today? What is the main source of distraction for today? Should you do anything about? Should you address this now? Okay, yeah.
Day. Should I do anything about it now? 5. We need a plan, not a dream. So let's make a quick simulation of what would happen and how would you react.
All right. Step 5. Compose a plan. So let's make a quick simulation of what could happen and how you would react by using a method where you play the simulation of how do I word this? Where you play a simulation of how you believe things would play out and how you would react. Okay.
If your computer suddenly stopped working and did not turn on, how would that change your plans? If you suddenly feel worse or have a headache, how would you replan your day? If someone you love calls you and asks you for help, what activities could you move to other days and which you definitely need to complete today?
Okay. How will technical difficulties affect your day? Suddenly feel worse or have a headache. How would you plan your day? Should you come across a situation where your health is affected, how would you replan your day? And then lastly, which you definitely need. If someone you love calls you and asks for help, what activities could you move to other days? Okay. How would you handle high priority relations? Which items can be pushed back to accommodate those relations? Such that you're still able to complete them by their deadlines, by your deadlines, your own deadlines. How about that?
I hope these points and questions will help you plan your days. Please remember to start small and then build on top of that. And make yourself a favor and let your planning take at most 5 minutes a day. So your task after this lesson is to start a 5-minute timer and plan your tomorrow. Start with your calendar, 3 most important tasks, and then maybe planning tasks. In the next lesson, let us cover how we can plan our weeks. Weekly planning is tricky. It's very easy to dream about an ideal reality and forget this is planning, not dreaming. With weekly planning, we have to have the same approach as with daily planning. Start small and feel the value of planning from the very beginning. Even during the busiest weeks, you should feel the benefit it provides and miss it if you skip it. If you have never done this, I would start with 10 to 15 minute session maximum. Let's go through a procedure that I found works for many people, exactly as with the daily planning. You may start with just 2 or 3 points first, and then add new when you feel comfortable. Please just limit it to 15 minutes in the beginning, as it's very easy to start dreaming instead of planning when it gets too.
I start with just 2 or 3 points first, and then add more when you feel comfortable. Please just limit. Weekly planning should be just 15 minutes. Start by allocating as small as 15-minute time blocks for a session. 4 sessions on weekly planning. Alright.
Too long. 1. Look at your calendar in a weekly view and ask yourself some key questions. Which 3 events are the most important this week and why? How many time do you have between your events compared to the last week? How will this affect the number of tasks you will be able to complete? Which 3 events will consume the most energy from you and why? What is your plan to get back that energy?
Okay. One. Actually, I don't like how it does that. Let's just do step. Well, it's not really a step because I don't think it's a procedure. These are just items that are tips. Probably not going to be procedural based. So, step 1. Review calendar. within weekly view. And address the following questions, key questions. Which determine which 3 events are most important, and determine why. How many times you have between your events to? How many times do you have between your events compared to last week? How will this affect the number of tasks you'll be able to complete? How much time between your events? How will this affect the number of tasks you'll be able to knock out? Which 3 events will consume most energy? Why? What is your plan? How do you recoup? How do you recoup this?
Two, choose 3 MITs, most important tasks. Just like for daily planning, we need 3 most important tasks for your week. What are the 3 most important things that you would like to achieve next week? What 3 things would need to happen next week? So when it's over, you would say that this was a good week. Of course, you will plan multiple activities, tasks, and of course, you will week.
Okay, what are the 3 most important things that you would like to achieve next week? Okay, what the 3 things would need to happen next week? Such that you're able to consider it a good week. And
so when it's over, you would say that this was a good week. Of course, you will plan multiple activities, tasks, and projects, but it's important to keep focus and choose your priorities. Remember, your head counts 1, 2, 3 lots. You will never get it all done, but you can keep your priorities and feel that the most important things are finished every week. 3, clean up this week list. Open your task list and move tasks from projects and all other lists into this week list. You may add new tasks as well, but remember, not week list, this week. Open your...
Okay, move tasks, projects into this week.
Task list and move tasks from projects and all other lists into this week list. You may add new tasks as well, but remember not to look at other lists during the week.
Don't look at other lists during the week.
The only thing that interests us is this week list. And when you're done,
keep your focus on this week list.
Ask yourself a few questions. Looking at my calendar and energy level, is it realistic that I will achieve all of that? What will happen if I don't do these tasks? What are the real consequences? And which of the tasks have the biggest value? 4, plan your energy.
Oops.
Your energy level change value.
All right. figure out if it's realistic that everything will be accomplishable. What will happen if I don't do these lists or these tasks? What are the consequences? Of not being able to complete the task or your tasks. And which of the tasks have the biggest values? Which tasks have the biggest value?
Four, plan your energy. Your energy level changes every week. It depends on...
Ooh. Step 4. Plan your energy.
Your energy level changes every week. It depends on your mood, health, amount of sleep, current season, family issues, work issues, and so on. So what is your battery level right now? Is it 100%, or maybe 50%, or maybe 20%? Does the plan for your week reflect your energy level? And how are you going to charge your physical and emotional battery?
Okay. What's your energy reserves looking like right now? Oh, it's time for a break. All right, let me take a break because I'm actually getting kind of thirsty. BRB. Okay, looks like my microphone is active during the break scene. Need to fix that. Anyway, I'm back. Alright, where am I? So, what's your energy reserves looking like right now? Does the plan for the week reflect your energy levels? How does the plan for this week reflect your energy levels? How are you going to charge your physical and emotional batteries next week? Determine how we're going to charge your physical and emotional energy levels next week. All right.
Batteries next week. We need a plan, not a dream. So let's make a quick simulation of what could happen and how you would react. When your close friends call you asking for help next week, when your family member needs urgent help in the morning or the evening, or when you suddenly feel sick or need an evening to just take some rest. When you spend 15 minutes on planning and you feel it gives you value, after a month or two, you may extend it up to 30 minutes, but I would encourage you to keep it as a limit. Don't overplan. If you have some time left, all we need is to reflect on the past as a limit. Don't overplan. It gives it on plans. When you to
Okay, step 5. Plan. Simulate. Simulate what could happen and how to react. When your close friends call you asking for help next week. How to handle close relationships. Should they ask for help? Yeah. When a family member needs urgent help in the morning or evening. I mean, that's similar to the first point. These are close relationships. So I'm going to skip that because it's really this. So I'll add to it actually. What if they need help in the morning or evening? And when you suddenly feel sick or need an evening to take some rest. Okay. How to handle situations where your health deteriorates, but I don't really want to say that. Oops. How to handle situations where you aren't feeling too hot is what I like to say. Unexpectedly. Okay, moving on.
Just take some rest. When you spend 15 minutes on planning and you feel it gives you value, after a month or two, you may extend it up to 30 minutes, but I would encourage you to keep it as a limit. Don't overplan. If you have some time left, all we need is to reflect on the past week. How was your reality versus plan left? All the limit. Don't.
I'm gonna grab this here.
Don't overplan. If you have some time left,
I think that's what I've been having issues with. I've been way over planning my week with scheduled Twitch streamings, and because of this, and without using any of these tips, I've been failing hard. So I have a lot of work to do to continually revise my current stream schedule, and hopefully things will start working out a lot better. That's it. Let's
all we
continue.
need is to reflect on the past week. How was your reality versus plans? What did you learn?
So it's important to reflect your last week. How did things turn out as opposed to what you expected. And be sure to take this approach in a guilt-free way.
Remember to be guilt-free, reflect and adjust curiosity instead of guilt and shame. Here are some questions that may help you summarize your last week. What were the 3 most important things that happened? Why are they most important? How much you were able to achieve compared to your plans? What does it tell you? How was your energy level compared to what you expected? What does it tell you? Which 3 activities gave you the most energy and why? And which 3 activities drained the most energy from you?
All right, cool. Method on review method. Review method on last week's activities and their outcomes. What were the 3 most important things that happened? Why? How much you were able to achieve compared to your plans? How's your energy levels? Where were your energy levels? During those events. Why? If they weren't where they were expected, why? Which 3 activities gave you the most energy? Which 3 activities gave you the most energy? Which 3 activities drain the most energy? Activities drained the most energy. Why? Why? I think I'm gonna make this like a heading level. This is really important for me personally.
You and why. Your task after this lesson is to plan your next week. Set the timer for 15 minutes, open your calendar, think about 3 MITs, and then clean up your this week list. You may also download the daily and weekly planning checklist. Now, let us cover the last planning topic, which is energy level management.
Sweet. All right, our last
Do you know these moments that you plan your day or a week, but then it seems like you just don't have enough energy to complete it all? It happens to many people all the time. During my workshops, I often ask people to draw their estimated energy levels during the day. Do you have any energy peaks or lows? When they usually happen? How long they are? Is your peak at 10 a.m. or at 2 p.m. or 10 p.m.? This is an example chart that I often see that is typical for people working.
Oh, this is kind of useful.
In an office environment. They have their energy peak in the morning, and it usually lasts for 2 to 3 hours. Then there is a low period and the second peak. You may have your peaks and lows at a different time, but the most important fact is that your energy level during the day changes a lot. It's really important that you know when you have the most energy to use and use it while planning. If you know your daily rhythm, you may plan the most energy-consuming tasks for your energy peaks and some smaller, more automatic tasks for the time when you have less energy. Often it's good to plan administrative tasks and some email work after lunch. For most people, a perfect
Plan administrative task and some email work after lunch. or when it fits perfectly with your energy levels. Okay.
Perfectly fits their energy levels. Unfortunately, what happens for many people is that they use their energy peaks for small, sometimes even boring tasks, and later they don't have enough energy to work on their priorities when the energy low hits. While planning your days and weeks, it's really important to take your energy level into consideration. During the day, you may focus on the tasks that reflect your energy level best. During the week, plan the time to decompress, recharge, and take some rest. I see many people plan their days as they had 100% performance all the time, and it's simply not true.
I see people, I'm going to repeat that. I see many people plan their days as they had 100% performance all the time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that is my problem too.
When we observe our energy levels, we're able to plan better and also frustrate less. So your task for this lesson is to observe your energy level during the day and draw a simple chart that reflects how much power you have left. And then ask yourself a question: how you could plan your days so that you use that energy wisely.
Chart your energy levels throughout your day. Then ask yourself how you could plan your days so that you use your energy wisely.
If this is hard for you to estimate your energy level, you may use concepts like heart rate variability and simply
a tool that might help is what would be HRV, heart rate variability. Which allows for measurement. Which allows for unbiased measurements.
measure it. There's an application for your smartphone called Welltory that may help you estimate that. So I hope this can help you plan your day and week and cooperate with your energy levels rather than fight with it. Remember the 4 types of time that we began this course with? It's good that we organize ourselves to achieve our goals, but it's also crucial that we think about rest, relationships, and creative time. Do you have enough of them during the week? Is it reflected in your weekly planning? I hope after finishing this course, you may achieve balance in these 4 types of time and take care of creativity, relationships, rest, and your goals. Okay, let us now summarize the course and see how we can stay in touch.
All right. Quiz time. Question number 1. What would be a healthy limit of daily planning sessions? Is it 5 minutes, 15, or is it 30? It's 15. What? Wait, maybe that's right. Yeah, it is right. It's 5 minutes. Whoops. Okay. Question number 2. What's a really good question to start planning? Start your planning session with, okay? What can go wrong? What 3 things are the most important? What is to be done? This quiz is actually challenging. Like, this is the first quiz that, out of all of them, where the question is, or the answer is not so obvious, because he actually goes over all 3 of these, and I'm pretty sure it's this, because I think he emphasized that should only focus on 3 things because that's, for one reason or another, the human limitation. So you have to choose 3, and then once you have those 3, you can move forward with asking what can go wrong and what is to be done. So I'm hoping this is right. It's like I feel unsure, right? Okay, nice. Yes. Pareto Principle says 80% results come from 20% of your actions. We definitely want to put our best energy into our priorities and generate the biggest results. Question number 3. What is the length of the energy peak during a day that many people report? Does it have to do with that freaking chart? Yeah, okay, so it's probably this. So let's see. So going from 6 to 12 is freaking. How do I quantify this? Like, is it between the hours of, I would say 11 to 12 to 1 would be 2 hours, and that's a peak. And then we have probably another hour here, so I would say 3 hours. I mean, either that or, let's see, what else makes sense? I mean, we have 6 and 8 as an option as well, so approaching this from a different perspective, we can say from 6 to 12 is freaking 6 hours. And I mean, from here to here. But this is like peak. Like, where, I mean, if we're specifically saying peak, then that just means at the point in which it hits 100%, because that is the peak. 100% is right here. You know what? I don't really know. I'm just going to go with 3 hours since it makes the most sense. Cool, I got it right. Yes, that's your rocket fuel. That's available to you every day. Most people in offices have that peak before lunch, but some much later. This rocket fuel can be used for most energy-consuming tasks that bring a lot of value. All right, got 2 out of 3 correct. I'm not going to retry it because it's going to be the same questions, and it doesn't look like we came across any Q&A questions during any of these lectures, actually.
Do you know these moments that you plan your...
Oops. All right, cool. Let's just go to the summary.
So you have invested 2 hours of your precious time into this course. I hope it helped you organize your days and weeks and that you feel much calmer and in control. Now, there are multiple ways that you can waste the time you have spent in this course. I'll cover 3 most common problems when people try to change their habits.
Oops.
1. Curiosity versus guilt and shame.
Okay. Let's go back here. Three common problems when people try to change their habits. 1 is curiosity versus guilt and shame.
When people try to change and something doesn't work the way they wanted, many times it causes frustration. I often hear,
when people apply change and they don't get the desirable results, it leads to shame.
I'm just not able to change. But the real problem is that people feel guilt and shame when they make mistakes, and they quit. But mistakes happen. You will stop using your calendar and task list, skip a few daily and weekly plannings, and that's okay. We all have a normal life with vacations, feeling sick, family issues, burnout, low energy, anxieties. Remember the 3 layers in our brains? Emotions are at the bottom, and guilt and shame can kill any positive change. If we can turn it into curiosity, this will actually help us develop. So if you want to waste this course, blame yourself for any problems, don't be curious, don't adapt, don't continue. Just think how bad you are.
All right. Yeah, I failed applying time management to my life these past, say, 2 weeks. And it's actually really challenging to convert it from guilt and shame to curiosity. It really is. It's draining. It's something that is new to me. But the fact that I'm still streaming and trying to finish this course shows that, you know, I'm learning. I'm getting better at this step right here. This step 1. All right, so paste that there because it's kind of important and it serves as a really good reminder of what to do. Otherwise, if I continue with feeling guilt and shame, then I would have wasted my entire time with this course. So I need to be more curiosity oriented. That's what I would say.
Or maybe you could just learn from mistakes and move on. 2, habits versus intellect and emotions. When people want to change and form new good habits, they usually use their intellect a lot to do that. Habits, they usually want to change.
What is this? 2, habits versus intellect and emotions.
Change and form new good habits, they usually use their intellect a lot to do that. Intellect is, however, at the top of our 3 layers. If we want to succeed, we need to engage a layer that is below habits, and that is emotions. If you can stay curious, away from guilt and shame, and at the same time have some deep emotional motivation, this will greatly help. Why change? Maybe you want to grow and have a better salary and more freedom? Be an example to your kids? Show your spouse that he or she may trust you? Good emotional motivator will help you during bad days. So, if you want to waste this course, use your...
Instead of screenshotting this like I did with the one above, I think it's better if I write this down. So use your intellect a lot. And okay, so what you don't want to do is you don't want to use your prefrontal cortex and to cut emotions from the equation, because of that triangle. Let me see if I can find it. Copy this, go back here. Because our limbic system will always trump our prefrontal cortex. Oops. Need to accept that emotion need to be part of the equation. Do not discount planning your, do not discount planning for emotions. emotions. Let's see, planning for emotions requires you to convert your logic into habits, which is, what is it called? Which means you convert the things that you come up with in your prefrontal cortex into habits which are formed in the basal ganglia, I believe. Okay. Ooh, I had it. Basal. Yeah. Planning for emotions requires you to convert your logic into habits, which would shield you from open loops. Well, not really. Let's just from tendencies that are generated from your limbic system. All right, now I can actually screenshot this, put it here. Oops.
Your intellect a lot and cut emotions from the equation. You will quickly see how old habits are taking control. Or maybe you could have a deep emotional motivation for bad days. 3. Sharing knowledge.
Or maybe you could have a deep emotional motivation for bad days. And what does that mean? Anyway,
The best
sharing knowledge. 3. Sharing knowledge.
way to internalize any new knowledge is to try to pass it to others.
Okay. Best way to internalize anything that you learn would be to teach it to others.
You will need to put what you know into a structure and then see if someone else understands what you say.
Hence why I am kind of streaming and speak my thoughts out so that perhaps I could share the things on this medium to others, and if I get feedback from them, then I could reflect and perhaps getting a better understanding myself of how all of this works. Put what you know into a structure and see if someone else understands.
So, if you want better insights after you finish this course, try to explain what you know to others. How about 3 layers of information processing and forming habits? Why do we actually need task lists and how to organize them? Why the calendar and task lists are separate? How can we deal with distractions and why is it so important?
Ooh, let me try to answer these. How about 3 layers of information processing and forming habits? I think what he's referring to when he says 3 layers is from this triangle. So we have logic, which is within our prefrontal cortex. And then we have habits, which is in our basal ganglia. And then we have the third layer, which is emotions, and that resides in our limbic systems. But if specifically he's talking about forming habits, then obviously he's talking about the basal ganglia. So, second point. Why do we actually need task lists, and how do we organize them? Let's see if I can remember this. So, why would you, if you have something that you want done, and you have the option of putting it into a calendar versus a task list, why would you choose the task list? I believe the answer to that is you use a calendar because it needs to be done at a specific time. And if it doesn't need to be done at a specific time, then a task list works better. And I'm going to go back and confirm that that's the right answer. So we have section 4, lesson 14. And let's see. Task list items, therefore, should not be things that are listed on your... Okay, that's not it. There should be time gaps. Ooh, okay. How to determine whether to use a calendar or a task list. S, if it has a fixed time. So if it does have a fixed time, needs to be done at a certain time, then put it on your calendar. If not, then put it on the task list. Okay, let's see if I can explain this. Why the calendar and task list are separate. Oh, for these reasons right here, right? For a calendar, you have storing fixed time events, which the method of using a task list does not provide, because as you can see here, this just generally says today or tomorrow. It doesn't specify an exact time. Calendar visualize events. I mean, yeah, this is visualizing your entire day, as opposed to this where you don't know exactly where it is and when you're going to actually do it. Then we have store some additional event info for calendar. I mean, I don't think he went over this, but this is something that I've done or I currently do, where if there's a calendar event like this right here, Tom one-on-one meeting, I would put the agenda of that event or meeting in there, right? So that would be considered additional info. As opposed to here with your task list, I think it's supposed to be super high level, and it would kind of defeat the purpose of organization if you write like a paragraph for each of these, because you need to be able to quickly vet through your task list in order to sort it out and to reorganize it, and you wouldn't be able to if there's like a paragraph in each. So that's that. Calendar is used as a reminder, and a task list is also a reminder. I don't know. I did not get what he meant with this comparison. And I think it was also this one that I didn't understand. Like, why did you list this if they're the same? Share the event with others, share the list with others. Anyway, lastly, we have how we can deal with distractions and why is it so important. We need to take consideration of potential distractions, because if you don't, then when they happen and when they reduce your energy levels, or they kind of take up more time than we anticipated, it might not leave a remaining energy reserve or ample time for us to complete what we need to complete. So we need to plan for having a buffer to handle distractions, either having a buffer or forming a certain habit that prevents distractions from happening. And that would be working with your basal ganglia in order to prevent distractions from influencing your I don't know, your daily routine. Okay, moving on.
So, if you want to waste this course, never share your knowledge with anyone. You will then quickly see how it deteriorates over time. Or maybe you could just sometimes share what you've learned with your family, friends, or colleagues. Of course, I hope that what you've learned will stay with you for years. And even if not, you will still have access to this course and can also get access to new materials. Let us cover that in the last lesson of this course.
What is next?
Congratulations! You got to the last lesson of this course. I hope it helped you stay organized, calm, and in control, and that your family, friends, and colleagues see the change in you. Now I hope we can stay in touch. In the lesson notes, you will find a checklist that may help you get started when you don't know what next steps you could take after you finish this course. This is like a step-by-step procedure to clean up chaos and plan effectively. I hope it will help you get started. Now, I would like to kindly ask you to do two things if you found this course useful. 1. Please honestly rate the course on Udemy platform. And 2. Please share the course with others, especially those that you feel it could help. Among millions of the courses that are available, your word of mouth and an honest rating will help others find this content. So this will be a great help to me. So that was a pleasure to make this course, and I hope it helped you and that we will stay in touch. Thank you, have wonderful days and weeks, and happy planning. See you, bye-bye.
I think this is a great course. I mean, I can't see how it wouldn't benefit just about anyone. And what's especially helpful is that unlike some of the courses on Udemy that I have taken, this one provides a very accurate transcript. Let's see if I can pull one up. But before I do that, let's write a review for him. Completed the entire course. Very useful. Will share with anyone who I believe will will actually use it. All right, I think I'll keep that short. Please tell us more. Yes, it's valuable. It's very clear. Yes, so there are opportunities to apply what you are learning every day. Is course delivering on your expectations? Yes. Is instructor knowledgeable? Yes. Sweet. Save and exit. All right, so lastly we have this checklist. And let me just steal this, put that there. And let's move this over here. Ooh, I gotta rest my eyes, but I'm about done anyway, so let's close this up. Check out if there's anything, any Q&A. Oh, wow, look at that, he actually responds. Louise says, hi, Pure. I just want to thank you for this course. I have an extensive list of books to read. I'm unsure how I should tackle the reading times on my daily routine. Should I have a fixed time for reading, or should I read on an available distraction-free block? What are your thoughts on this? for the kind words. With reading time, there's always one solution that is working for everyone, and that is experimenting. So one solution doesn't work for everyone. Gotta experiment. Most important thing for me is to like it. Some people think about reading books as another task to accomplish during the day. If you think about it as a pleasure and make it something that charges your battery, it will take some tension away. With daily reading, my recommendation would be to try a few approaches and see which one works best. Try to stick to a specific hour. When your list gets really long, I would choose just a few next books to read and focus on them first. That should save some energy, and when you choose later, it should save some energy when choosing later. You make decisions once for a longer period of time. Crap, I missed the notification here. It's probably like bugging me to take a break again. For me, the key things with reading are make it easy, block distractions, start small, choose the next books you will read after you complete one of them. Basal Ganglia. If something doesn't work, reflect, adjust, and move on. So wait, let's see. Awesome. Yeah, I am done with this course. And with that said, I'm gonna actually take this break and conclude the session. Thank you for joining me for this entire series.